In this video, I'm going to be giving you an update on how real estate investing and learning about that has been going. I've been trying for a while to build another income stream besides just Amazon and or Walmart. And so basically what I have done so far is I have purchased some training. I've been going through that. I've been learning about that. I've been meeting with a mentor weekly for a couple weeks now. And basically, I had two auctions lined up. I mean, I've looked at a lot more than two auctions, that's for sure. But for various reasons, they either didn't have the properties that I was looking for, or something about the rules didn't work out. But two properties or two auctions that I've researched in depth. One of those auctions was going to be Friday. I mean, the auction is still Friday. And out of the list of properties, there were three that I was really into. And that was the auction that I was talking about maybe a week ago, where I talked to a real estate agent and ended up that those deals weren't as good as I thought. There were a couple things about the property, like specifically the shape and slope of some of the properties that made them worth a lot less. And then another one of them, it was in the city, and in that particular city, those sold a lot slower and for less of a price. And so basically the bringing down how much I was going to be able to sell them for, the minimum bid of the auction didn't make as much sense. And so I didn't go through the whole process of actually having someone go out and look at the properties and registering and then bidding for this auction. The next auction that I was looking at, there was a list of close to 20 properties. There was about 6 that I was interested in. I did a lot of research on those. I talked to a real estate agent in the area. Didn't get as much detailed on each property, but the area looked good. The pieces of land looked good. They looked like they would be worth it to sell and make some money on, assuming that the bid doesn't go up too high. So I had my max bid sets for those. The next step was going to be to have somebody go out and take a look at them. But then in this particular auction, the rules are that people can actually go ahead and pay their property taxes like they were supposed to, but they can do that up until the auction, like the day before. So I had 6 properties that I was planning on bidding in, and 5 out of the 6 have been taken off the list. And so there's really only one other property that's available. I'm already registered for this auction, so that's something else that I've done. And I think I'm still going to have someone go out and look at it. That way I can just get the experience with that, and then cross my fingers that it'll still be on the auction by the time the auction actually happens, and I can just go through the whole process and at least bid on something, and put money down and go through that whole process. And then, once I've actually done every single step in the process, doing it the next time will be a lot easier. Just like in Amazon stores, like if you've never listed an item before, you're just confused on, like, do I just list it on Seller Central? Do I get a free trial of Inventory Lab? Do I use GoToLister? What am I going to use to list my items? And so for each and every step of that process and for this process, it's just like, all right, what service do I use for this? What service do I use for this? How do I talk to real estate agents? How do I look up comps? Am I actually looking at correct comps that are actually similar? Am I looking at something that's in a floodplain? Am I looking at something that has a slope? And like catching those mistakes at the very beginning for the first time kind of takes a long time. And from that perspective of thinking about how long it took to prepare for each one of these auctions, and then potentially only bidding on a couple properties and probably getting outbid, it's a little discouraging for sure. But I've said this over and over again with your Amazon store or your reselling business. going into it with the idea that I'm just going to make $6 or $7 an hour at the very start because I have no clue what I'm doing, and it's better to do that and build towards something that's meaningful in the future rather than watching Netflix, is a really good opportunity and way to look at it, because I'm not going to be good at this at the start. I might spend a couple hundred hours before I get my first deal. And I might sell it for only a couple $1,000s potentially, or even a loss potentially. And so what's the hourly on that? Really bad. But the point is that once I've gone through the whole process, it's going to be much easier the next time. And once I've gone through the process a couple times myself, I could start to hire out some of these parts. So yeah, crossing my fingers that this next auction goes well, or at least that I can go through the whole process and just get outbid, at least for this one property, and then I can go on and do it faster next time for the next set. But hopefully this is helpful. I'll be back on with the daily videos with the whole revenue and profit later this week when I'm back from a trip. But hopefully this was helpful. Subscribe and comment if this is. I want to know what types of videos you guys are even wanting to see. But have a great rest of your day and take care.